Pete, I know you've been, very open about your optimism about this group and how hard you guys are working. But at this point, just why do you think that it is still yet to come together? Why do you think that despite all of that, this is the position that you guys find yourselves in right now?
Yeah, and that's a very good question to ask. But I feel like for us, the amount of work and the amount of energy and the amount of concentration and effort and care that we have is absolutely tremendous. And the only thing you can do is keep coming to the yard every single day, working hard, having a fantastic attitude, and take whatever opportunities are presented. And today, um, I mean, I mean, Logan Webb threw the ball really well. He executed so many pitches, and he had his A+ stuff today. He's one of their better arms, and he absolutely came with it today. And I felt like we had a lot of really good at bats, but I mean, it's one of those things where it's difficult to translate effort, professionalism, preparation into tangible success. And I feel like we every single day we're locked in and leaving it all out there on the field. So it is frustrating, yes, but I mean we're doing everything we can.
With the way that things are going, with the way the standings are, I guess, how do you find a way as a group to pull yourselves out of it before it's too late?
Well, for us, I mean, it's just taking one day at a time. And I think once we have that moment, and we're not going to know what that moment is until probably a week after it actually happens, because when you're in that special moment, you're just focused on doing your job. But after time goes by, you can reflect back and just be like, hey, this is it. This was that missing piece. And I think right now, I mean, our attitude, our process is excellent. And I know it's tired, and people want results, and that's the nature of the beast. And I totally understand that. But I mean, we're giving it all out there, and I'm so proud of how every single game we're in it, we're locked in, and we fight, we scrap, and I mean, unfortunately, sometimes we come up short, and it's frustrating. But leaving it all out there, and the amount of heart that we have is really special, and for me right now, I think that's in a most difficult time. Guys aren't packing it in. We're not just folding. We're not giving in. We're not caving. And that's very difficult to do in a very difficult time, because this is a character building. It's a humbling process for sure. But I think that right now, even though we're down, we're still fighting. We're still fighting every single pitch. So I think that if we were to pack it in and just throw everything out and just be, all right, you know what, it's over, then that's terrible. That's a bad attitude. And we don't have that at all. Every single day we come to the ballpark believing that we're going to win.
How do you weigh kind of appreciating the process, like you said, and not becoming frustrated with the results?
So that's a very good question, because you can still, I think that there's a little bit of both, because even though that the results may not necessarily be there, the perfect example is, or the perfect analogy is, I did everything I could. I hit the absolute piss out of that ball, squared it up perfectly. Oh, line drive right at somebody. Just because it didn't equate to a hit doesn't mean that you didn't do everything right. If the ball came off the bat at 110 miles an hour, just a defender happened to be there. So for me, I think that, it's frustrating, but knowing that the process and what we're doing, and the confidence in our work and our preparation, I think that's huge. And if we don't have confidence in what we do, then we already lost. But we have extreme amount of confidence every single day. And I'm super proud of how we fight every single day, despite the current situation. And we're trying to change it every single day.
Zach Scott said that the performance has been unacceptably bad. Do you agree with that assessment?
So in what context was the question that he answered? What was the question that he was asked, and what was the rest of that? What was the rest of that quote?
He was kind of just describing the performance from the team up to this point, up to at least the stretch from the All-Star break.
Right. And I understand about the tangible results. I mean, we don't want to be here. We want to be in first place. We've been in first place most of the year, and we want to end the 162 in first place, winning the division and going to the playoffs. Absolutely. Like, I agree with that. But from just an overall performance, I think that I'm not necessarily I'm still I don't necessarily know how to answer that, because I really agree that we should be in a better place. But also, at the flip side of that coin, I also think that how we fight, how we prepare, and how we go about our business is excellent. And it's just been a really difficult stretch. And we want to win for sure. We want to be the best. That's why we're all here. But I think that it's frustrating right now, but I think that we're going to be in a very good place come the end of the year. I really know that's our goal. And because we're not meeting that now doesn't necessarily mean that we're not going to be there at the end of the year. It's all about the journey.
9 or 10 days ago in Philadelphia, you were quite confident that this thing was going to turn around. I think you said something like, don't worry, we got this. You're now a game under 500, 4.5 back. I mean, does it seem like this is quite a mountain here that you have to climb ahead of you?
No, absolutely not. And I stand by everything I said before.